CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 4 of Dual Destinies. Last time, we managed to prove that Juniper was innocent of bombing courtroom number 4, thanks to the mood matrix, which lets us see different emotions and how the person testifying is feeling. Only for us to discover that, well, Apollo got knocked out with a rock, he got hit in the head with a rock, and basically he's, well, on the ground of courtroom number 4. So, let's get going. We gotta get to the bottom of this. We have to figure out what's going on with Apollo. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. The mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh, hey! Did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news! Someone's bought an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Yeah, Athena's just glossing up. Oh, and it also says that a child was hit in the head with a rock in the ruins of a courtroom. Oh wait, that's just Apollo. Never mind. Thought they got a child was hit in the head in that courtroom, and I swear, just 3 victims. Just that's insane. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. And it's all my fault. Athena! Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. That's what we found yesterday. Was Apollo hit in the head with a rock after he tried to be Batman. Apollo thought he could be badass, and so the universe struck him down. Was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. Otherwise, who else would we make fun of? Who else would be the punching bag of the office? He's part of the ecosystem. He also cleans the toilets for free. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's gonna pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Is Miss Woods all right, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on the sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh, guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Who, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm alright. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like this. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too. Sorry, I actually pressed the wrong button. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4, who assaulted him. Weirdest thing, in that one tabloid article, it showed a picture of Trucy and he started screaming like crazy. The doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took on the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. Mr. Wright, you were hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. I was hit in the head with a rock. I didn't even get dignified. Oh, you're sleeping on the couch. I was in the ruins of a courtroom and I got hit in the head with a rock. It wasn't even a smooth rock. It was a rigid rock. But who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Gah, just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt our Apollo. Only we can hurt our Apollo. No, now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. I am in control of them. I'm just letting the violent ones out. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? By a minute, I'm just as upset about you. Okay, boss, you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until after we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. CzarThwomp forgot to turn the timer on again. I'd better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Add to Mr. Wright, I'm ready wherever you are. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. You bet! With everything that happened with Apollo, I didn't have time for a proper investigation. Then I just didn't feel like it. I mean, it was Apollo. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right, for Mrs. Wood's sake, and Apollo's too. Yeah, I love how Phoenix puts Juniper before Apollo. It says if like subconsciously, Phoenix is like, I always like Juniper more than you, Apollo. She's never questioned my authority. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question? I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor. I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed. I apologize, Your Honor. Aha! Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial. A separate matter, you say? And what might that be? I assume you are aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4. Who would do that? I mean, have you met the guy? Frankly, who would want to take him down? I mean, who would waste the energy to take him down, and who would risk the jail time? And I mean, that's like something you'd brag about. That'd be like just, oh, I hit Apollo Justice. That's the thing. I hit a three-legged deer. You're not gonna win any points. Except with the three-legged deer, at least people would say, aw, the three-legged deer. With Apollo, it's like, Uh-oh, why is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice. At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods. He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he? The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault. Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial. Ah, but I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occur in courtroom number 4. This is the location in the courtroom number 4 when the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found. The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice? Clearly, she had a yandere moment. You saw that heart-shaped scarf she was knitting. Just her feelings for him were overwhelming. She couldn't control her face urges, and so she knocked him out with the rock in the hopes of kidnapping him and taking him to a torture basement. Yeah, I was going Winston for a second. Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne? I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing. You mean he found some incriminating evidence? Precisely, and so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him. Junie would never do such a thing. She's not sloppy like that. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that. Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts. Ahem. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself. Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday...
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Wonder what it was.
He told me I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper.
Maybe the two incidents really are related after all.
I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well, bailiff. Please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand.
I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop.
Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo.
Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good. If you would, then please testify about what happened to the court.
Alone with Apollo.
During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell? What admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature. Then his massive forehead and those hair horns, and the fact that he gets very snarky.
He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out.
But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out. He said something about wanting to stare into the sun.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think.
Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away. Objection! Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
It was noted that after Mr. Justice was hit in the head, that someone tried to drag him towards the entrance of the courthouse over to a Pinto, so that way he could be shoved in the trunk and taken somewhere. Thankfully, some bystanders saw it and tried to stop them, thinking that someone was stealing a mannequin. But upon seeing that it was Mr. Justice, they kind of dropped it. When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence. No, I never. Objection. Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. And we also found weird lipstick marks below the neck and on his chest. We believe they were kisses. Light kisses. We found the proof of our foul deed there, in the courtroom ruins.
What on earth?
Do you see it? There by Mr. Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us.
It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S. Why isn't that...
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters. What? I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name?
Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this? We're blaming Apollo. Yeah, just Apollo gets knocked out. It's like, damn you, Apollo, you asshole. Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. When we discovered Apollo yesterday... Apollo!
No!
I cannot do a girl scream, especially in the Miu voice. We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves, and we had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there.
Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Along with Apollo.
Hold it!
Do you always cough when you get nervous, Miss Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly.
But that barely even qualified as a quasi-question. Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into the cross-examination. You know, ask about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff. Her crushes, really? I don't know about this.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins?
We went to look for my medicine. To stop my coughing.
Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4?
I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bumrap Riney, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see.
And Phony Fancy has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted.
I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bumrap Riney. 12 kilos of black tar heroin. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Riney in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest.
The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Though we know better, we know that Apollo has nothing. Oh, wait.
So that's why you went to the ruins, I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please add to your testimony, Miss Woods.
Hold it!
Yeah, I just want to go through it all. The area around the witness stand. Are you sure about that?
I'm sorry, did I say something wrong?
No, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her. Must not upset her. And then Athena just cracking her knuckles. You must not upset her. You must not upset her.
Yes, I'm sure that's where we searched first. Hold it!
That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tonade's testimony, right?
Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom.
And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you or did he stay behind?
Hold it!
I'd better not ask her about Apollo. I know, I'll use some small talk here to get her to relax a bit. Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods?
Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing too. I made this outfit myself.
Keep it up, Mr. Wright, it's working. Now ask if she has a crush on anyone. Ahem. So, is there anyone in particular you like right now?
Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case?
To this case, not really.
Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to this case at hand.
Yeah, funnily enough though, just in spirit of justice, just the judge is specifically biased towards matters of love. We're basically just,
it was done with the power of love. It's acceptable.
Sorry, Your Honor. -1 to brownie points.
Miss Woods, please continue your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice. Hold it.
Let me ask you this, Juniper. Why would a teenage girl torture him? Why would a teenage girl take sick delight in seeing Apollo just be forced to assist her in a magic show? Last week, she tried to light Apollo on fire. He cried for about 4 hours afterwards. So you think Mr. Justice is kind?
Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel strong too.
The only items I associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive.
But then Apollo got hurt and it's all my fault.
Junior, Apollo's gonna be fine. He's just like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't just drop out of the sky.
You really think you'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Then that means Apollo could.
Mr. Bane, I do not think much of men who make young ladies cry. Though if you make Mr. Right cry, or if you make Mr. Justice cry, I've got nothing against it.
So Apollo was trying to keep Juniper. Who knew that Apollo could be such a sweetheart? It must have been pretty hard on him, too, with all that rubble everywhere. Now that I think about it, there's something odd about what Apollo was able to do. Considering what Miss Woods said just now, I think you're right. That courtroom was in a very unusual state after all. Which leaves the million-dollar question: what would explain this contradiction? Anyways, let's see what happens when I present what I suspect is our answer. Yeah, basically it's the lack of rubble. There was no rubble. Okay. Yeah, basically just paranoia. Okay, where there was no rubble. There was rubble.
Objection!
It's one of these two, I know it. There's something odd about the witness's statement. And this is the evidence that will prove it. You said Apollo was nice. Look at Apollo. What nice guy dresses like this with the coat over the shoulders.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright, but the only thing odd I found here is your objection.
That didn't go so well.
Objection!
Yeah, you can't show the picture of Apollo. You gotta show the diagram. So we started his search with the witness stand, you say?
That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. He was being so brave and strong.
But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that.
But he was, and he still is. He might not like it, but he really is brave and kind too.
Frankly, with how Apollo is, I don't think it's so much bravery, but rather emotionally numb. After everything that Phoenix put him through in the course of Apollo Justice, basically, Apollo is just numb. Apollo has nothing to lose. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do.
But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they want to be, Mr. Wright. Even Mr. Justice!
True, anyone can be brave and kind. But if you would please take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in its current state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand?
Oh,
I see your point. That rubble blocks up the access to the area around the witness stand.
does such a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it.
Ugh. Great, now I'm not so sure it matters.
A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know.
But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best.
I call slander, Your Honor.
So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Bane, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Ah, yes. I have one more. Here it is. It's a more pulled-back version of the photo I presented here. Notice how Mr. Justice is growing a mullet. Clearly, he is mentally unsound.
Apollo's photo was updated. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? But more importantly, why does Apollo have a mullet that's starting to grow? Mr. Bain, is that metallic object in that photo Mr. Tonate's bomb transport case?
That's right. Is there some problem?
Yes, that transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. It must have been there ever since.
Oh, that's it.
Miss Woods, have you remembered something?
Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before.
Its position? The position of what?
The position of that big metal thing.
The bomb transport case?
Yes, when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the cases in the photo was open space, so it was easy to reach the stand.
I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it?
As I recall, I think it was more to the right.
To the right? Which that means, in that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack.
Who cares what the transport gate was? Was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking about.
Objection!
Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear.
What?
Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack.
Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was right here at the time of Apollo's attack. It was on Apollo! Apollo was attacked with the case. He got ran over with the case. They just backed it forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, just crushing Apollo underneath it. His bones were shattered.
Take that!
Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault.
But that's...
Inconceivable!
Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it?
Yes, that's where it was.
Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position.
The transport case covers up the writing in blood.
Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Objection!
Why should we believe the defense's claims that this case was in a different position?
Which I believe we'll answer in the next episode, because I think that now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, see you next time. Bye.